Hello and welcome back to our Rising World Let's Play. We are starting fresh today in a little bit of a retooled version of my Rising World Let's Play. I'm going to get into that throughout this episode, but the focal point of this new Rising World Let's Play we're doing is going to be farmlands. We are going to toy with the new update that Rising World recently added, probably just, I don't know, a day or two ago. They've added farming to the game, which is huge because this has been very anticipated for some time. I think the next big anticipated update for me would have to be water, and I'm sure that will also affect how crops grow, so maybe the farm we build will need to take that into account. I'm not sure, but yes, like I said, we are starting fresh. Rising World is a game where you survive, you build, you craft, you mine, all the things you've seen in a lot of the survival genre games, but it's well underway in development. And there is still a lot to be put, such as monsters and other survival elements. And one of the things we need to survive those elements is going to be farmlands. So this series will probably be about, I'd say, 5 to 6, maybe 7 episodes. We're going to build farmlands. I plan on also building a farmhouse to go with them. And maybe, if we're feeling really crazy, a barn of sorts. So that is the plan, and we've spawned in the perfect seed. Really nice wide open space. We got some mountains over there, and we have all these trees ready to be deforested. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started and tell you guys, those of you who keep up with the series, why I'm doing this the way I'm doing it. Because I'm sure a lot of people are like, well, what's going on? Set game type 1. This is the creative collecting game type I've just turned on. And this is going to allow us to chop things down in one hit, which I decided to do a while back because it makes gathering a lot more efficient. Now, the tree was supposed to turn into logs and fall in front of me, and it did not. I'm wondering where my logs are. I feel like I'm owed logs. Let's try that again. Alright, I guess it's just a glitch. Now, the reason I've decided to start a new world, I was building a whole town, and personally, I didn't like the way the town was coming out. It was getting harder and harder to record in that town because I was trying to think of things to build that a town needed. And so I decided to take a page out of my buddy Weem's book. He told me, why don't you try doing the series like I do it, where I just pick a thing to build. I span that over a few episodes, and once it's done, I create another, like, mini-series, in a sense. And I build a new thing. And I'm like, well, that'd be great, but I want to keep my world. And I was looking at it, and, you know, I've deforested a ton of that world. We already started building in it, and part of the town looks nice because I started to learn how to build. The other part's going to look like crap, and I'm going to want to take down those things. And I just figured since we're starting fresh, maybe I should really start fresh. And the plan is to keep doing Rising World videos while also keeping the same seed, in a sense. So what's going to happen, not seed, world, like this save. What's going to happen is, let's say we finish the farm and then we decide upon a new project to pursue. I'm going to keep this world. This is the world I would like to keep. Unless Rising World does some kind of crazy update and I need to, like, reset my save, which happens in games like this. Or, you know, maybe I decide to start fresh again. But I think this will be the world, because I started the last one. It was the first world I've played in, and I just didn't really know how to play the game. So I did a lot of experimenting in that world. That's like the experimenting world. Now, I didn't delete it. We can always go back to it. Maybe someday we will. But for those of you who follow the series, that is why I've done what I've done. So right now I'm collecting some trees, and I'm collecting their saplings, which when I first started playing, saplings were not in the game. So now what I want to do is start to go back and replant trees as I go, so the forest doesn't look so barren after a while. I was really pushing into those woods. Did not take long to do that. So now I have trees to replant, and I'm gonna skip ahead probably here in a sec once I plant down these trees, and we'll go ahead and get some more wood, some more materials to start getting the base of our farmland done. Now, what I plan to do in this episode is start to carve out where the farm is going to be placed. And the reason I'm collecting so much wood is because we need to make some crafting benches, and we also need to make fences to go around the farm. I want to fence in the farm, so that is the plan. So thank you for joining me on our epic new Rising World journey. I hope you guys have fun. Let's get started. So here we are once again, starting out with the basics. The basic things you want to build when you start out any Rising World seed. You want to get yourself a workbench, a block bench, This anvil will help us craft tools, and then the saw bench for furniture and things like that. Now, the saw bench in this case is going to help us make things like fences, which will probably be under banisters, I would guess. There's all kinds of different banisters and stuff we can get here. We'll figure that out when we get to it. Maybe there's no nice looking farm fences right now, but we'll get there. And the next thing we need to do is start clearing away some of this grass, which is going to be a long, tedious process. One of the reasons this game is so frustrating to play is because of things like this. It just has a lot of tedium to it. So I'm going to do a lot of this stuff probably off camera as we go, and you know, I'm doing my best. Doing my best to try to make myself not go too crazy. Now, the other thing too, I made a rake. We'll start getting the land terraformed how we want it. I want the farmland on a nice flat surface, which is why I'm taking away the grass too. Take these flowers as we go. So I'm gonna have to, you know, starting fresh is starting fresh, and Rising World is one of those games where having a world already makes it a lot easier, but I've kind of taken that away from myself. So there's going to be some prep work, but what I'm doing is I'm going out from the crafting bench, and I think this is about far enough, and I'm just going to make a big old square where I think the farm is going to stretch out, and I think we're going to go in this direction, actually. I thought we were going to go the other way, but we're not. And once I get this area mapped out, I'll be able to just mow down the grass inside and kind of see the lay of the land and figure out what I need to do in terms of terraforming before we get started on making the farm itself. So I'm just about done taking down this grass in our new farm, and I've carved out quite the space for us. In fact, I'm wondering if I'm going to need more or if I've gone too far. Because I want it to be a nice square farm, and the shape I've made is just kind of a, I don't know, like a giant crop circle. I feel like I'm going to have to go out a little more just to even it up a little bit. But we'll see. We'll get there. What I wanted to point out, though, was this tomato over here, because this right here is how everything is going to start. The way to get seeds in Rising World, currently you can only farm tomatoes and carrots, and the way to do it is to chop them with a sickle. So I made a sickle, and I guess what I'm going to do is right-click. Uh-oh. Well, I got 4 tomatoes. Now do I... Oh, wait, what's this? Tomato sapling. Oh, there it is. All right, cool. So we just harvest them with the sickle. We'll get the tomatoes, and we'll get the tomato sapling, and that is going to allow us to grow more. Now, carrots... Ooh, is that carrots? No, that was just a... that was just a sapling. Carrots, on the other hand, I'm not sure. I haven't seen carrots yet, but once we find them... I'm sure we can just do the same exact thing with the sickle and we will get them. So we are basically done getting all this grass down. Now the next thing I need to do, of course, is go along with the rake and decide what layer I want the land to sit on, and then we'll begin making sure everything sits at the same level. This is gonna be kind of tough. I'm thinking I want everything to sit where I've placed these benches. So the rake works. If you haven't been following the series, the rake works, it's pretty easy. All you got to do is right-click to come up with the land and to even it out like that, or a left-click to bring it down like we're going to need to do over here. So that'll kind of bring it down for us. See? Very easy. Unfortunately, also tedious. But that's the nature of Rising World. This is also going to bring up a little bit of grass that was just kind of like stuck in the ground. It's a little bit glitchy, but it's not a big deal. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up all this land. Now these dirt patches aren't really going to matter, because what I'm going to do is use the hoe to basically turn this entire area into farmland, because I want a huge farm. I'm thinking like massive farm area. At least for one person it's going to be massive. For me. I mean, this whole... who needs this much space to grow crops, really, in a video game? But that's what I'm doing. So that is why we see things the way they are. Now, I think what I want to do is take the pickaxe and kind of dig this out like that. This is dropping stone, which is confusing. It's supposed to drop dirt. And when it drops dirt, I can use that to then place over there, and then we can even it out. So I can even out the stuff I chop away here, and so on and so forth. But it looks like I'm just getting a whole lot of... No, it's showing up as dirt in my inventory. Okay, that is good news. Alright, so I'll put that there. I mean, I think... Oh, there's some dirt and stone. but it's all showing up as stone. Interesting. Alright, well, I guess we'll just kind of figure this one out as we go, but for now I'm just going to chop away all these, try to bring the land down a little bit, make our raking efforts a little more efficient. Now with that dirt I collected, I can then come over here and just place it down at the edge, and this is going to create some weird little peaks, but that's alright because we're just going to rake those down, and that should make the land a lot more even. So you can actually, in Rising World, collect land and move it around, which is not something I don't know. I knew you could do it, it's just I've never actually gone ahead and done that. I've never tried to terraform anything like of this size before. So this is actually pretty cool. We're basically, oops, once I get all this raked down, we're basically ready to go with the actual farming. I'm really excited to get into this update and start growing some crops. Fun fact about Rising World, at least currently the dirt in the game is also stone. So we have a whole bunch of stone that I've collected, and I'm making right now a bunch of stone blocks, stone bricks I should say, for the purpose of mapping out our farm. Since there's no actual fence, I've decided to just go ahead and lay a foundation for the fence that I'm eventually going to put around the crops. This will give us an idea of how, you know, how to, like, the area to make the farm in, how big the farm is going to be, and things like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and make this the size I want to make it. Come out as far as I can. We're getting into area where I've kind of mowed down for no reason if we go this route. But at the same time, I don't know. Maybe instead of that we should go over a little bit more and then this way. Yeah, I'll have to terraform a little bit more if I do this. But at least we will be a little bit bigger, kind of the size I would like to be. The other problem is if we place blocks through grass, we'll just do it. The grass looks like it disappears, but really it's kind of hiding under there unless they fix that feature. I'm going to go and take down some of these, like, just to make sure. We'll just kind of mow away right here. Oops, I may need to delete these bricks, but let's see. We kind of, grass doesn't look like it's staying there, so yeah. All right, cool. All we need to do then is bring the dirt up in there, not a big deal. And now I'm going to go out here, and we'll just keep going with our farm design. Just want a really big square. So I think we'll come out to here, and we'll go over here. It's not going to be a very wide farm. Probably about there. Now that's definitely not very wide. I could probably go ahead and take out some more of this land just to make it a little bit wider, so we're kind of like over there once I go back with these blocks. So maybe a little more terraforming needs to be done. I think a farm this size is plenty of room, plus we have a whole bunch more space to grow into when those updates call for it, when we get some more crops other than tomatoes and carrots. I'm going to take the tomato saplings we have, I'm going to take my hoe, and I guess we'll just get started. I'm not really sure what this is going to end up looking like, but the best way to see at least what's going to happen is to take the hoe. I'm going to leave a couple spaces away from the bricks there, and unfortunately the grid is not coming up right now. Alright, so I guess we'll just right-click. Okay. I want to make this even. So I have a little bit of room between the farmland and the bricks, and knowing this game, it looks like what I'm doing right now is probably just going to stay like this forever. This game really doesn't have any, what do you call it? Uh-oh. The dirt in this game that you dig out doesn't really end up going away or going anywhere. So left click and right click seems to be making the farm in this shape. I'm not sure why it went from wide to not as wide. But, alright, we'll just go this way with it. Try to keep it even. What's nice about this game, too, is it fades. It looks really nice. So if you don't have it perfect, if you don't have it perfectly even, it's not a big deal. It's going to fade a little bit and look natural, you know. So I'm not too worried about it. I'll just keep going like this. And I guess now, oh, that's more grass. Now my next task is going to be to make this whole area look like a nice big farm. I'd say we're off to a pretty damn good start. Wow, this is a very large farm. So I'm just going to get started, I suppose. If I can use the grid... No, I cannot. And it looks like these tomato plants don't really snap to anything either. So keeping these crops even is not going to be an easy task. But if I just make sure that I stay within the lines, I'll just make sure I'm planting things in a nice straight line, I think we'll be okay. So how does it work? I don't know anything about farming. I just know you make land that kind of is lumpy like this. Do you put the seed on the part that's higher up or lower? It doesn't matter, but I don't know. I'd like it to be accurate. Let's start right here. There we go. We've planted one tomato. We'll give it a little bit of space, and I'll just try to keep it about as even as possible. All right. So we don't need to water it. There's no water in Rising World. I suppose these will just grow kind of like the trees do. And we will get 4 delicious tomatoes from each one. Now, I wonder if I can take these tomatoes and kind of like toss them on the ground. Maybe, maybe take the sickle and chop them up into seeds. Is that a thing? Can you do that? Let's see. Chop. Did I get seeds? I don't see any. I think I just ruined the tomato. What about right-clicking? No, I think I'm just wasting tomatoes right now, which is... I mean, it's not like I'm starving or anything, but let's try eating them. Let's see what that does. Now, in Rising World, to restore food, you can chop up an animal and cook it on a grill. To restore water, since there's no water in the game, but you need it, you can take watermelon and apple, and you can actually just eat that, and that'll replenish your thirst, just for now. That's another for now thing that's in Rising World. I guess the other thing's bugging me is the farm needs to come out to the wall. I thought having a little space would be okay, but then I started to screw it up. So, we'll just do this. We'll finish this part off. And I'd say this is a pretty good first day. So, you guys kind of get an idea of what the series is going to consist of, because in the next episode, we're going to look into getting more crops. I'm going to look for carrots. I think I'm going to spend some time off camera trying to find some carrots. Everything in this game right now is kind of randomly spawning, like these watermelons, which you can't grow just yet. We have some more tomatoes out here, which is good because I need some more seeds. So the goal right now is to just fill up the farm, but we're... Oh, wait, you get... Okay, good. Left-clicking it doesn't destroy it. Yeah, we're trying to fill up the farm, but we're also trying to build some things in this as well, like the farmhouse and stuff like that. Now, the farmhouse is going to back itself up against the farm. I think probably where all this stuff is, I'm going to start the farmhouse, and then if I do the barn, it'll probably be over here somewhere. So we'll have a pretty sweet setup going. I just wish there were some actual, like, outdoor fences to put out here to make it look more like a closed-off farm. So... we'll work on that, and if you guys have suggestions for what builds you want me to focus on in future editions of Rising World, then please leave that in the comments. I was taking down a whole bunch of suggestions in the last series. I still save them in case I want to try to do some of them over the course of a few episodes. But just until I get to that point, sending me your suggestions in the comments would be fantastic. Think a little bit bigger than before. Now we can think a little bit bigger, because I'm going to be spending a lot of quality time actually fleshing out builds instead of just trying to rush them in the matter of one episode. So, I hope you guys enjoy this new take on Rising World. Please subscribe for more videos just about every day on this channel, and I will see you next time. Peace out. Since these seats here are full, I can't even toy with the idea of putting him here, but I bet you he'll cover all 4 of those buildings if I do. You know what? We're probably going to need more reflection insurance buildings anyway. Throw them in there.